Welcome to Time to Talk. I'm Argie Holliman, and today is April 10th, 2019, and we're so glad that you could join us once again. Today, we're talking to two staff members from Heart of West Michigan United Way, which is located right here in Grand Rapids. We'd like to welcome Mary Beth Gruen, and she is the marketing manager there. It's good to have you, Mary Beth. Yes. And Phil Gable, who is the volunteer engagement coordinator at Heart of Michigan United Way. And the rest of the show, I'll be saying United Way for the most part.
That works,
okay?
Yeah, absolutely.
It's a long title, but it's good to identify United Way.
Yes.
Because there's a lot of United Ways throughout the state and throughout the country.
Absolutely.
Yes.
And
Yes.
even beyond.
And beyond.
Yeah.
Yeah, in other countries too?
Absolutely.
Okay, wonderful, wonderful. I know I used to work at United Way on a temporary basis years ago. Loved it because you're so involved in the community and meet so many people. And it's amazing the services that we have here through United Way. Mary Beth, tell us about what you're responsible for at United Way.
At United Way, I'm in charge of all the marketing. So my team and I are in charge of our website, social media, public relations. So that's what we do.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And Phil, what are you responsible for?
Oh, I have a fun job that allows me to get out in the community, interact with them, place individuals and groups with different volunteering opportunities through United Way as well as area agencies as well. I work with school groups, and then we do various collection drives that impact individuals through agencies within our community as well too.
Mm-hmm. And we're going to talk about the Global Youth Service Project that is happening this Friday, April 12th. But first, we're going to kind of get our sound corrected and take a break, and we'll be right back. Okay. So you're watching Time to Talk. Sorry about that.
No.
That's all it took to fix it? Okay. Okay. Welcome back to Time to Talk. Okay, our sound is much better now.
Yeah, sounds good.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Again, today is Wednesday, April 10th. You're watching Time to Talk. Our guests are Mary Beth Gruen. That's not right.
Gruen, that's fine.
And Phil Gable. And they're from United Way. And we're going to talk about as many of your programs as we can. There's so many.
There's a few of them, yeah.
There's quite a few. But we're going to talk about the Youth Global Program. And tell us about that. That's a service program that's happening this Friday.
Absolutely.
April 12th.
So it's one of our many programs that we do. So it falls under kind of our Student United Way program. So it's the largest national day of service. Youth from around the world gather today on Friday and Saturday and Sunday to do community service projects. So our group is decided to get out there. So they've got testing Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday of this week. We're going to get them out of the classroom on Friday. So we're going to partner with Grand Rapids Parks, and we're gonna get them out and prepare the parks for the season. So yeah. So
Okay. How many students will be involved?
so I've got about 280 students, so from 5 different schools, ready to get out there and clean up the parks. In additional to that piece of service, we're also going to educate those students too. So we're pulling them out of school to do some service, but we got to throw some education in there as well too.
Oh yeah,
So,
got to get that in
got
there.
to get the education
Got to get
in
that
there.
in there.
So we're going to learn about invasive species, ecosystems, different ecosystems, and how parks kind of work together a little bit, and then as well as how those parks play an impact within their community as well too.
And so having young people learn about parks helps them to understand ecosystems
Absolutely.
and know how important parks are.
Absolutely.
Not every community has parks like we do.
No, we
here
are
in the
very,
greater
very
Grand
fortunate
Rapids
for sure. So,
area.
but a
Yes.
lot of our youth, too, have never been to a park. So
Really?
some of our students, this is the first time that we're going to throw them in the middle of the woods. So, that's an experience for them too. So to be within nature and be in the forest and the parks and kind of really dive into, this happens and then this affects this and this and this. So, that's why we're touching on those invasive species too. They play a huge part in impacting other plant life, animals, et cetera, et cetera. So.
Okay. What schools are involved, Mary Beth?
So we have Wyoming High School, Ottawa Hills, Union, Central Innovation, and Forest Hills.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's primarily high school
It is,
Yeah.
yes.
for this particular project. Yes. And learning about the parks helps the students, I would imagine, later on when they become adults to appreciate the parks, to want to invest in the parks and take their families to the parks and things like that.
Yeah, we always believe volunteering can really spark an interest or some knowledge. So really, I think a lot of times people don't realize that when they volunteer, they think that they're just going to go and maybe pick up trash or take some plants out, invasive plants. But we really hope that kids are inspired, and this encourages them to take advantage of the park system, and from now until really whenever.
And so they're going to go to the parks each day, Friday, Saturday, Sunday?
No, that's just when Global Youth Service Day happens. So we've decided to choose Friday. Kids are in school already, and plus this is kind of like a nice little reward for them for going through testing Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday of all this week. So
Okay.
get them out of school, breathe in some fresh air. We're hoping that the rain can hold off for us a little bit, maybe even the snow
I was just
too.
going to ask you,
Yeah.
what is the forecast for that?
It's good and bad, and depends on the day. We live in Michigan, so
Yes,
yeah,
you
it
never
changes
know.
a little bit every day. So.
Yeah. And so how do you choose the parks?
So we worked with Grand Rapids Parks and Trails this year to kind of see the biggest need. So that's based on, we had a tremendous storm this year that took down a ton of trees and branches. So we looked at parks that were hardest hit by that. And then we also looked at parks that were, highly used and had those high traffic parks that are used during the summer too. So that's kind of how we chose which parks the kids were going to, and then based on location as well too. We didn't want to put a kid on a school bus for 30 minutes and then have them volunteer and then 30 minutes back to school. So that didn't make sense. So location of that also was a factor.
Is this an opportunity, Mary Beth, for the students to kind of interact with other students from other schools at all?
I think for this project, it's mainly one high school per project. I
We've
think
doubled
so.
up on
Okay.
one park, but
Yeah.
mostly it's the individual school at each park. So.
But it's a good chance for them to get to know their classmates outside the classroom and maybe
Okay.
kind of interact with students that they normally wouldn't. Maybe students that they don't eat lunch with or are not involved on sports teams. So it's a kind of unique opportunity to get kids out of their element and interact with each other.
How were the students chosen?
So we put it out to most of the schools out there, and it's just based on availability. So we had a ton of interest, but we have a limited resource available. So we chose 5 schools, and then those 5 schools decided how many students, and then we kind of went from there. So yeah.
And I think we have some pictures too. What are these pictures of Mary Beth? We're going to put them up
Yeah,
so
I'll
you
take
can
a look.
see. But I think there are students
Yeah, so some of
doing
the-
some projects.
Yeah, some of the
Yeah.
pictures I sent last year was from Global Youth Service Day last year at Millennium Park.
You did the same thing last year.
Yes, yep,
Okay.
we've been doing it a
The
couple of
same
years now.
parks
Yep,
or
and
different parks?
different.
Some different, so we try and switch it up a little bit, but consistency is good, and like I said earlier, those high traffic parks, those parks that get a lot of use, I mean, we'll keep coming back to those just because they get used all the time. So, and they need to be refreshed before the season hits, and so that thousands of individuals, the Grand Rapids residents and then beyond, can come and enjoy our beautiful parks.
Yeah. And we can take our parks for granted. I remember some relatives of mine moved to a city, I won't say which city, but they were like, there's no parks here.
I
was like,
know, yeah.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah. Both between Kent County Parks and Grand Rapids Park System, we are very fortunate in this area to have such beautiful parks. Yeah.
And it's so nice that they're free.
Yeah,
Exactly.
absolutely.
And they're available to
Yeah.
everyone, and
Yeah.
you can just come and enjoy them, and also do other things that
Sure.
sometimes might cost, like reserving it for a reunion or something like that. But so you worked with the different cities, like the city of Grand Rapids, city of Wyoming. Did you have to work with them to coordinate with the parks?
So with this, we only worked with Grand Rapids Parks and Trails, but they have connections. So we're out in Townsend Park, for example, which is not technically in the Grand Rapids Parks and Trails system, but the Parks and Trails, the park system, they all kind of collaborate together, which is a wonderful resource for us as well for them too.
Okay. And again, that Youth Global Service Day, is that what?
Yes, it is. Yep.
Global
Okay.
Youth Service Day, yeah.
Okay. Is Friday, April 12th, coming up,
Yeah.
2019. Now, United Way, Heart of West Michigan United Way, has a lot of volunteer programs. So if you want your family to volunteer, if you want to volunteer, if you like working with kids, if you like working with animals, there's something for everybody. So tell us a little bit, maybe that's
Yeah,
a
you
Phil
wanna
question.
take it?
Yeah,
or
sure.
Mary
Yeah,
Beth
go
Yeah, we
ahead.
can take it. So we have a wonderful database that makes it so easy to get connected to volunteer opportunities. So you can go to our website, HMWW, and just Google Heart of West Michigan United Way, and then we have a volunteer button. And it's broken down by categories, which makes it really nice. So if you want to search by youth or nature, seniors, you can click on those buttons and it will populate opportunities that are available. So.
And I would imagine the good thing about that is if you don't have a lot of time, you can do maybe a day, like a day of caring, the day of
Absolutely.
caring, or you can do a week or different time slots.
Yeah,
Because
there's
people
really
say, I'm so busy,
yeah,
I don't have a lot of
anything from a
time.
2-hour opportunity to a weekly commitment is really how much you want to give of your time and how much you're able to. But we're able really to connect. There are some wonderful one-time opportunities that you can just go and do and get some experience. Yeah.
And I was reading about some of your volunteer opportunities. One that was really, they're all so interesting, but reading to hospice patients was
Sure.
very interesting. Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Yeah, so I mean, our database, we partner with thousands of opportunities and hundreds of agencies within the community. So, and the one that you speak of, the hospice one, that's just one of many. But you take that opportunity and it's kind of overlooked a little bit, but it impacts an individual so much who's going through hospice care. And it takes a very special person to be able to do that. But that's just one example. They're not all as heavy as that. So it can be reading to an adult, reading to a hospice care patient, like you said. It can be packing sack lunches. It can be doing reception work. So the skilled base varies by opportunity to opportunity, but there's a volunteer opportunity for every single individual out there right now.
So no matter how old do you have to be, like say a child
Sure.
that wants to volunteer, is there a certain age, minimum age requirement?
It varies by opportunity, obviously, but usually they require a parent and guardian with them. But like our Global Youth Service Day that's coming up, so though we're full on that day, Kent County Parks and Trails will take volunteers all the time because we're just making a small dent in that impact or in that in those park systems. They'll take volunteers all the time to help clean up the parks, pick up trash, prepare them for the season. So.
Brown McDonald House is a great one for young children. They take families, they have a special program that you can go in on the weekend, help maybe do some cleanup, you can make cookies, make a meal. I think they're one of the agencies that do a really good job at bringing families in. Family Promise also takes kids. I do that sometimes with my 2 kids, and yeah, they do a wonderful job of that.
It's a wonderful opportunity for families to teach their children, okay, this is how we can give back.
Absolutely.
And then this is something we can do together and also make an impact in the community where we live.
Yeah, I love volunteering with my girls. It really kind of gets us out of our day-to-day routine, and it's just, I don't know, I find that we kind of talk about things maybe that we haven't talked about, or just, you know, we relax and have fun, and yeah, it's kind of a good experience.
Absolutely is.
And do you find that people here in Kent County really are giving? They're so willing to help in many different ways, financially as well as giving their time and their effort, the resources.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we are in a very generous community, a community that, you know, definitely, you know, it needs to be uplifted, but we have a community that's just willing to dive in there, you know, to support financially, to support with their time, and then in-kind goods as well too. So Kent County and the surrounding areas is a wonderful, wonderful place.
And not only the people, the residents, but the corporations, the businesses, the organizations are willing to give too.
It is, yeah. We work with over 250 companies in the county, and they're just so generous with their time and their resources and open their doors to us. And it's amazing, some of the companies that are out there.
And as we talk about companies, if there is a company that can't get out to let their employees come out to work, will you bring some project to them where they could still volunteer?
Absolutely, we will. So we're just launching a new program called Volunteering to Go. So where it's, you know, a lot of places, you know, can't dedicate 4 hours to get outside of the office. You know, they still have things to do. So we want to make it easy. We want to come to you. So we want to do on-site volunteering projects, whether that's making, you know, homemade laundry soap or dog toys or literacy kits. We want to come to you as an agency, so your employees can take an hour out of their day or on their lunch break to come and, you know, do these things that make a huge impact on the community.
Okay. Let's talk about tutoring. You have many different tutoring programs.
Yeah, through our agency. So again, that would be another opportunity. You can search by children and youth, or you can type in keywords tutoring. I think Hispanic Center has some opportunities, and I know there's a few more. Yeah.
So.
Do you have to speak Spanish to participate?
You know, I don't know on that one. I don't think so.
I don't think so
No, I
either,
don't think so. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, but that's a wonderful opportunity.
It is. It's more than tutoring. I think you kind of, get a lot more out of it when you get to know the kid that you're working with and kind of develop a friendship, and
You start with that tutoring aspect, but then you build a relationship and there's social opportunity, and, you know, it's just endless. It's a wonderful, you know, all of our opportunities are wonderful, so.
Yeah. And training is involved for your programs, your volunteer services?
Sometimes, but not always. So
It's not always needed.
No, it's not always needed. So I mean, some agencies have an orientation that they do with their volunteer. Usually, that's, you know, it involves vulnerable populations or skilled volunteering and things like that. You know, the big thing with volunteering is keeping the volunteers safe as well as the individuals they're serving as well too. But then there's tons of opportunities where you can just, you know, sign up, show up one day, serve meals, pack lunches, or, you know, various other things too that don't require any you know, pre-training ahead of time. You can kind of just jump in and go, which is wonderful.
Okay. And tell us more about your database, Mary Beth. Do you match volunteers with volunteer opportunities if they don't know what they want to do.
Yeah, so you sign up for an account, and really, like I said, there's several different ways you can search. So you can search by zip code, you could search by your interest area, by agencies, by calendar. So if you know maybe you have a weekend coming up, you can search by day. So really, I encourage people just to kind of explore and maybe kind of go outside the box of you like kids, but maybe challenge yourself and look at other areas. And like I said, a lot of them are one-time opportunities, so it's a good chance to kind of test agencies out, almost a little like dating, and see what's a good match. And and then if you find a good fit, you can become a regular volunteer.
Okay. And you also have opportunities for people who want to help military personnel or veterans, like help them repair their homes or paint their homes or do their yards or things like that?
Yeah, we're really excited. It's a brand new program for us this year. So it's happening in May, so I believe May 17th. We're calling it Operation United. Excuse me, but we've taken on 26 homes this year of active military veterans and their families as well too. So we're so thankful that they gave the amount of time that they did in the service, honoring our country and protecting our country, that we want to do something back. So their homes might need a fresh coat of paint or just some yard work or a new ramp built. And their homes may need help for various reasons. So we're gathering hundreds of volunteers on one day, and we're doing a little home rehab project. So it's going to be a lot of fun.
That's exciting.
It really is.
And they deserve it.
Absolutely.
They've
we think
given so
Yeah.
much to us.
And we're very fortunate to have Home Depot on board with this project. They're taking on some of the projects that we really wouldn't have been able to do ourselves.
Okay.
And they're completely behind this and ready to go. So I'm excited to see what comes out of this.
Yeah.
They provide the supplies?
They're going
or
to provide
even-
supplies and volunteers. They've done the site visits, figured out what these homes need, and yeah.
How were the veterans chosen?
We reached out to various channels through social media and through veterans agencies around the community to help us find and select those individuals. And then they submitted applications, and then a core team of individuals helped us to go through those applications, identify highest need, as well as projects that we could handle. We didn't want to take on building a new house, for example, but because we just don't have that skill set.
A little hard to do
yeah,
in a day.
especially in a half a day.
Yeah.
So, but we selected individuals, based on various different factors. But every single one that we got is a very worthy individual, and we're going to try and get all of them done. So.
We found that a lot of them were nominated by family and
Okay.
friends. And I think that one of the common factors was, my dad, or, he's too proud to ask for help, or he's done so much, we want to give this as a gift to him. So just reading the stories kind of teared us up. And
Absolutely, it did.
Yeah.
Right. Now, are any youth involved in that particular project?
I don't think we have any youth
Yeah,
involved.
No, that one's on a
So-
school day. So we
Yeah.
did have a
Yeah.
group that wanted to participate with just being on a school day. It wasn't able to work out.
Okay. We're going to see if we have those pictures about
Okay.
the youth, and these pictures would be from last year.
That was- yeah,
Tell
that
us
was-
about
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, Global Youth Service Day 2018. That was at Millennium Park, and they were able to do some planting of seedlings.
Okay. And our next picture?
Yeah, that's again from the same event at the park. They were kind of spread out.
Okay.
Hard-working youth.
Yeah.
So digging holes, planting trees. So.
Okay.
So, yeah, Global Youth Service Day is just a great opportunity. Like I was saying earlier, it is the largest national day of service, and it happens all over the world too. So thousands and millions of youth gather today on one day, and they do service. So, well, rather 3 days, but yeah.
Okay. Okay. And was there a particular reason why April 12th was chosen? Anything that stands out?
The 12th, 13th, and 14th is, determined that those date ranges is Global Youth Service Day, so National Day
Okay.
of Service. So it's a part of, so National Days of Service include MLK Day, 9/11 Day of Service and Remembrance, and Global Youth Service Day.
And it must be exciting for the students to hear what other students have done.
Absolutely, yeah.
Is there a time when they get to see a video or go
So,
to assembly about that?
We'll share, different opportunities that happened around the state with the schools and things like that. But then what they did, will also break down into data too. So, number of hours, number of bodies, the dollar value that they put into their day on this little short window of time. And it's just astronomical, the amount of impact that 280 youth can happen, in a couple hours.
And that's really good for them to be able to see this really had some value,
Absolutely.
some monetary value.
It does, yeah.
Absolutely,
If
yeah.
somebody had to be paid to do this work, this is what it would cost.
Exactly, yeah.
Yes.
So, we get a small army out there to make sure that, the kids get some educational piece, obviously, but, that those parks are ready for, visitors and residents of Grand Rapids and Kent County to enjoy all summer long.
Yes, we were talking to Mary Beth Grun and also Phil Gable, part of West Michigan United Way. We're going to take a break, and then we're going to find out more about the Global Youth Service Day, as well as other programs of United Way as well, the volunteer programs, but also programs that are available to the community. You're watching Time to Talk, and you can watch us every second and fourth Wednesday from 7 to 8 p.m. live here on GRTV, Comcast Cable 25, and then you can see repeats for our friends in Wyoming, Kentwood, and Gaines Township on Wednesdays at 2:30 and 8 p.m. We'll be right back. I'm Argie Holliman. stuck behind a desk or anything like that. Welcome back to Time to Talk. I'm Argie Holliman. We're glad that you could join us once again. Yeah, we're trying to get into spring. It's a struggle, but we're trying.
We do
you
live
know?
in Michigan.
Yeah, we live in West Michigan. So some days are really, really good. And other days, okay, we're struggling with it. Better than snow, okay? Better than snow. At least that's my theory. All right. So today we have with us as our guest Mary Beth Grun from, she's a marketing manager at Heart of West Michigan United Way, and Phil Gable, he is the volunteer engagement coordinator at the Heart of West Michigan United Way right here in Grand Rapids, but you serve West Michigan, right?
Yep, mostly Kent County. So yeah, we primarily focus on Kent County.
Okay, and so tell us about some of the programs in addition to volunteer services that you have, that United Way has.
So the program that I think most people might be familiar with is 211. And 211 is a information and referral service that people can call to inquire about help. Really anything from emergency situations, such as utility assistance, food assistance, to really everyday things that you might be facing. So maybe your parents are getting a little older, you need some assistance, maybe some in-home health care, you can call to get referrals on that. Your children are getting ready to go preschool, you're not really sure where or how to enroll them, you can call 211 and we can kind of point you in the right direction.
And is that 24 hours?
It is 24 hours, 7 days a week. You can call, you can live chat or text. So we make it easy.
And that's a good number for people to have when maybe you're the friend or family member of someone.
Absolutely.
And they have a need and you're like, well, I don't know
Yeah.
where to call.
Yeah.
211 will
Yeah.
direct you.
Navigating the system can be so hard because there's so many resources out there. They have different qualifications. It can depend on where you live, your age. Sometimes you have to get a referral from one agency into another. So really, rather than trying to know where everything's at, you can simply call 211. And we have a database over 2,900 services. So, yeah.
And that's so helpful because instead of calling every
Absolutely.
agency,
Yeah.
like we said, there's a lot of programs in Kent County,
Yeah.
but you don't want to be stuck trying to call them all.
Exactly.
Um,
And there's some programs out there that really don't even advertise or put their numbers out because you have to have certain qualifications. And so they have it that you have to call 211 to get referrals. So it's really best to call 211 if you have any questions.
what do you find is the greatest need right now? Is it housing? Is it
Yeah.
food?
I would say housing, utility assistance, and food would be the top three that we have faced year after year. You know, housing is a huge issue in Kent County right now, so that's just growing. People are not able to afford where they're living. You know, they're working hard, but rent keeps going up, and their wages are not keeping up with rent. So I would say that's probably one of the biggest issues right now.
I agree. Well, we just got done with winter too, and the utility assistance. You know, that was huge for thousands of individuals. So we had a
Cold,
cold
Yeah.
March, yeah. So that was nice. So it's a 211 is just a great resource because like you said, I mean. An individual could spend an entire day calling around trying to find what they're looking for, or they can call 211 and have an answer within minutes.
Yeah. And with utilities, we encourage people to call before they're shut off. You know, if you are thinking that they may be shut off, you find yourself behind, call. You know, be proactive, call before it's shut off because it's much easier to get help and quicker, and you won't have that downtime without utilities.
Absolutely.
And I found that the 211, I guess you would say operators are patient and try to help people work through because their crisis, whatever it
Absolutely.
might be.
Yeah.
A lot of those individuals who are calling, are on their last hope, and they don't know where else to turn. So our 211 workers are amazing, patient, wonderful individuals who provide wonderful information to help
Yeah.
individuals and families out within our community.
And everything is confidential.
Absolutely.
Right. Right. So, and no limit to how often you can call.
No. So,
A lot of times it's more than one issue. So maybe your issue might be utility assistance. Well, your utilities were shut off. Our operators will call and kind of find out, are there other concerns in the neighborhood? Have you served in the military, the armed services? Because sometimes there's services or benefits that people may qualify for and they don't even realize it. So we really try to work with the caller to find out the root of the problem and are there other services and help that they can get.
Okay. And then it's hard talking about winter.
yeah, I know it. I understand.
But still got a little bit to go. But this past winter, did you have people who needed like their snow shoveled? They were elderly, disabled, and were you able to help at all?
Well, there's definitely, individuals who call, and so when we refer them to various different services to help them, exit and enter their home. So it depends again on, different, it's case by case basis, obviously, and their background and individual and things like that too.
I think one of the things we found out a couple years ago when we had that really rough winter, I think it was 2013, 2014, is that we were receiving tons of snow removal calls. And so through that data that we had, we were able to work with like the city and neighborhood associations. And so there are, some programs that have been set up because of that. And that's one great benefit of 211 is that we really are kind of the eyes and the ears of what's going on in the community, and we're able to take that information and say, okay, we're receiving a lot of calls from here, why are these unmet needs, and kind of address that.
In addition to 211, what are some of the other services, programs of United Way?
Yeah. Well, right now is tax day, tax time. We're just days away from that, and so we've been operating our KCTCC program. It's AVITA, the Volunteer Income Tax Assistance Program. And we have over 200 volunteers that help prepare taxes through, I think, like 15 different tax sites throughout Kent County.
Sounds about right.
Yeah, and so
And they're trained.
they're trained,
So they know what they're
IRS
doing.
certified. They go through a 3-day training. So these are volunteers that are dedicated and committed. They give up their weekends in December or January and really go through that, a lot of training. But we have a free program because a lot of our tax sites are full. So you probably wouldn't be able to get in for appointment, but if you are comfortable filing online, you can go to myfreetaxes.org and file your taxes. It's run through H&R Block, so it's very similar to any program that you may have done, like TurboTax, and it takes you right through the process, and you can file both state and federal for free if your household income's under $66,000. So,
Okay, so that's a big help for people.
It is, because I think a lot of times people don't realize how much it costs to file, like whether you're doing it on your own or you're taking it outside. And for some families, that $200, $300 can really mean a difference. It can get caught up on rent or tires for the car, maybe new clothes for the kids. So that $200 is critical for some families.
It also puts money back into our community.
It puts in about $6 million every year through the tax returns. Our volunteers really work with the families to make sure that they're getting the credits that they deserve and that they earn, that they have the right to, such as the earned income tax credit. And so that money that's brought back, like you said, stays in the community. These families are using it for food and for car repairs, kids' clothing, shoes. It's really a great service to not only the taxpayers who are using the service, but the county as a whole.
Now, you used to have programs where you went into the schools, I think, and worked with the students. Do you still do that?
It's part of our Student United Way now, so it's under the volunteer umbrella. But we still are in the schools, teaching kids, doing some science stuff with their DIY laundry soap activity, as well as various other activities as well, too.
How is United Way funded?
We are funded through generous donors in the community. So 80% of our funds that we raise take place in workplaces that run campaigns, and they can make a one-time pledge or a payroll deduction. And then we also receive grants and other funding.
Okay. And all of the money that's raised here stays here?
It does.
Absolutely,
yes.
Okay.
So we have our community fund. And so when people make a donation to United Way and they don't designate it to an agency, it's put into our community fund. And we have an impact department that really assesses the needs in the community And then we have 3 focus areas, and agencies are able to apply for a 3-year grant, and we're in our 3rd year right now, and we gave over $4 million in grants to these agencies.
How can an agency or an organization become a United Way organization?
So for any agencies out there that fit into our areas, so that is mental behavioral health, family stability, like violence prevention, treatment, youth education, middle school STEM, food, housing, and financial security, I would recommend that they contact United Way and just kind of really keep an eye on our website and Facebook page, because we're going to be going through a new grant process in the fall. So, yeah.
And if people would like United Way to come to their church, their organization, or group to make a presentation, are you able to do that?
Yeah, if we're able to fit it in the schedule and we can send someone, we'd love to talk to groups. It's really a great way of getting out to the community.
Okay. So how long have you been working at United Way, Phil, and what do you like about it?
I am fairly new.
You're on TV.
Yeah. I am coming up on my 1 year in June. So I'm still fairly new, but you know, the impact that you're able to see with you know, through the community fund, through volunteerism, you know, is amazing. So you know, I mean, we're changing lives every single day, and it's really exciting to see the impact that we're making within the community.
You must meet so many new people.
Absolutely, hundreds and hundreds of people, and it's exciting every day.
What about you, Mary Beth? How long have you been at United Way?
Here for 5.5 years, which amazes me because it's gone by so quickly. And I think what I really loved about it is that I commuted outside Kent County for 10 years. But I lived in Kent County, and my heart was really in this area in West Michigan. And so I wanted to find a position that I could get back into the middle of things, and really couldn't ask for a better company or organization to do that, because we work with the companies, we work with the agencies that we fund, volunteers, really. I mean, I am in the heart of West Michigan with being at United Way.
The heart of West Michigan, right? Perfect name for it.
Exactly.
It is, yes.
We have so many newcomers, immigrants coming to West Michigan. Do you have services for them, specialized services at all?
So through some of the agencies that we fund, one of them is the Refugee Education Center, and they work with children who are new to the country, and they have after-school programming, really kind of help get the kids acclimated. So I would say that is one of the programs. And then through a lot of the agencies that we fund, you know, housing, food, yeah, they really do serve those families.
It goes back again. I mean, if you're looking for resources, 211. So, I mean, they're the database that knows it all. So,
there's a lot of great volunteer opportunities too, really, to help families get settled. During the holidays, we have our Adopt a Family program, where you can adopt a family, and I would say probably good 30% of these families are recent immigrants. So it's really cool to be able to work with this family and help get them on their feet, you know, because they come over with so little, and you kind of start looking at their wish list, and instead of toys, it's, you know, or maybe some fun stuff, it's pots and pans and toasters and
hygiene supplies.
And shampoo, and you really kind of, they don't really want to ask for much, so they put on the bare minimum, and you were like, you know, we can do more. We can help get this family settled and really make their apartment or house a home.
Okay. And do you fund some programs that maybe have mentors for the families or something?
I don't think any of the programs that we fund work with that directly. So but there are some of the agencies that we do fund, like Bethany Christian Services, do work with refugee families. It's just not the programs in particular that we are working with, but
What's coming up new for United Way as a whole?
Well, Operation United is coming up. So, and we talked a little bit about that. That's our veterans kind of home revitalization program. So we're taking on 26, partnering with Home Depot and a few other great companies out there. And anything from yard work to shed tear downs to gutter clean outs to power washing. So that's a brand new program for us, and we're piloting this year, and we're really excited about it.
When will that start?
That launches May 17th.
Oh,
so
coming up.
It is. We are in the middle of it. So it's going to be here before we know it. That's for sure. So
How does someone contact you to say, well, I need some services at my house, or I want to get on these lists that sound pretty good, but then they're already filled. So do you put it out there in social media, or where do you?
I mean, there's tons, hundreds of individuals, who are definitely worthy, and they can definitely contact United Way, and we'll do everything in our power. But right now we've kind of capped it at 26 individuals. We want to focus on those. We want to ensure that our work that's being done is quantity or quality. We don't want to take on too much more than what we can handle right now.
But I would recommend, if you're on social media, liking our Facebook page. We did a lot of promotion through that, and really just kind of, hopefully this will be an annual project, and we'll be doing it again next spring. So I would encourage them to start looking out for it in about February.
Okay, and as marketing manager, it must be interesting what you're doing. And of course, you say United Way, people for the most part know what that is, or think they know.
Yeah.
Think they know. But what are some campaigns that maybe you have coming up to increase people's awareness of Heart of West Michigan, United Way?
So we are really looking to social media to get the word out there. We're kind of been pushing that out, and not just events and dates, but telling our stories. We have a new communications coordinator, and he's done a really great job at doing some videos and blog posts, and kind of getting the word out there with that. And then going to companies, community groups, anything that we can help get our name out.
Okay, all right. And we want to remind people again about the Youth Global Project. Tell us about that again.
Yeah, so that's going to come up this Friday. So 280 kids getting out into Kent County parks, and it's really exciting. So like I said earlier, it's, they got testing Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. We're going to get them out of the building, get them outside, breathe some fresh air. Hopefully that rain stays off a little bit, so yeah, we don't get wet. But
right.
In addition to the service aspect of getting our parks ready for that season, so our visitors and Kent County residents can really enjoy them. We're going to focus on the education piece as well too, teaching kids about ecosystems and how one thing affects another thing within the park system, and as well as invasive species and how those non-native plants really affect the overall ecosystem, and then just how parks play a crucial role within their community as well too. So bringing residents in for recreational purposes, hiking, and then just having green spaces as well too.
Are you doing anything with the ponds or creeks that are?
We're not doing anything with water this year, but we're just gonna hit the trails and the parking lots, and just really focus on those.
Okay, all right. And 5 schools are involved?
5 schools, yes, yeah. So, yeah.
What was the response last year to the students? I mean, from the students that participated?
I wasn't there, but from what I've understood, it's just nice to get out and breathe some fresh air and do some manual labor a little bit, and socialize, with individuals that you might not normally get to socialize with within the school day. So kids are kind of regimented in their school schedule, so it's nice to have a little flexibility with that and get them outside their normal a little bit.
Yeah, it's really something that kids these days don't, I hate saying kids these days, but people used to say that to us, but kids these days don't go outside, and a lot of them don't like the outside till they get out there,
and then they love it.
They love it. They love it. But that used to be like the worst punishment in the world, to stay indoors. You can't go outside. No, I'll do anything. Please, let me go out.
So yeah, it's just nice to get them out in those green spaces, and just get those parks ready for the season as well. And then because we're taking part of their school time, we really want to focus in on the educational piece as well too. So.
And I think for some of these kids too, if they didn't grow up in a home where volunteering is just a norm, like this might be the first time that they volunteer, it may never occurred to them that they can volunteer and give back. So I think it kind of opens their mind, like, hey, I do have something to give. Like, I can contribute, and so we're hoping that maybe they look for other opportunities and help out.
And it would be nice for them to talk to their families about it. Hey, I did this and this and that part.
Absolutely, yeah.
And
Yeah.
let's go back to that park and I'll show you something.
Yeah, definitely the parks need it, all the time, so they can't have enough volunteers, which is wonderful.
So the Global Youth Day, what do other people do in other countries?
In other countries, that's it can be anything from what we're doing, getting out and outside. Some people do, excuse me. Some people do some birthday bag stuff. So I've seen that before. So they assemble basically a bag full of cake mixes and candles, and they make birthday cards to be handed out to local food pantries. So I've seen making dog toys before, homemade dog toys out of scrap T-shirts and scrap material, and just it's a broad spectrum of opportunities that different agencies do.
Okay. You want to add to that, Mary Beth?
I think he covered it. Did a pretty good job.
You think he covered it?
I think he did, yeah.
But no, I mean the opportunities are endless. I mean it's based on area, obviously, and availability and students. But it's just like I said earlier, it's the largest national day of service where millions of youth gather on 3 days to do some serious work. So they put in millions of hours and to impact their community. So, and that's a really exciting opportunity for not just the youth, but those communities involved. So we're excited to be a part of it.
Well, we're going to take our last break and then come back and wrap it up, talking about Heart of West Michigan United Way. So we're going to go to a break right now. You're watching Time to Talk. Welcome back to Time to Talk. You can watch Time to Talk every second and fourth Wednesday, 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. right here on Comcast Cable 25, and also Wednesdays 2:30 p.m. and 8:30 p.m. on WKTV in Wyoming, Kentwood, and Gaines Township, and that's also Comcast Cable 25. And Time to Talk, we have a season just like the school system, for the most part, has a season, September to June. That's what we do, September to June, because everybody needs a little break.
They
So
do, yep.
after we have my birthday bash in June, the second week in June, then we're off for the summer. And you can see all those shows that you missed. Okay, right here on GRTV. So we're going to wrap it up with Mary Beth Grun from United Way Marketing Manager, and Phil Gable, Volunteer Engagement Coordinator, also from Heart of West Michigan United Way. And tell us again, Mary Beth, about the Global Youth Day.
Yeah, so coming
Service
up,
Day.
yeah,
It's
Service
a
Day.
Service Day.
Coming up in 2 days. So we're
Yeah.
excited to get 250 kids out there and experience nature and try something new.
Yeah, should be really nice, hopefully. And
The
a
rain's
nice
gonna
day
clear
for
out,
pictures
yes.
and videos.
Might
and
be a little muddy, but
Yeah.
I think the rain's going to be done by the
yeah,
time they
you
start.
have
so.
to bring those back again
Yeah.
another time.
Yeah,
Yes,
so
yes.
it might be a little sloppy, but we'll get out there and we'll, it's amazing what a small army of high school students can do in a few hours.
Oh yeah, definitely, definitely. Are you all providing them with something to eat, or?
Well, give them snacks and things like that, so make sure they got enough energy to finish the project for sure. So
Can
yeah.
get the work done.
So, but this, this project specifically, I was talking to Jenny over at the Kent County Parks, and this is the largest group of individuals on one day that she's ever had. So,
Really?
Yep.
Okay.
So it's
so that's exciting.
it is, yeah. So new for them. A lot of coordination went into it, but yeah, we're gonna get those kids out and we're gonna have a lot of fun.
Okay. Are you looking forward to maybe having more schools next year?
Maybe. So it depends on, capacity and availability and what that winter season does with the parks and things like that. But, we're always looking to expand. But we want to ensure that, those volunteers that we do have, those student volunteers, have a quality time. So, and we want to make sure that those projects that we do really make an impact within our community.
Okay, so our parks are something that we can actually be pretty proud of.
Absolutely.
And then when they're nice and clean, well, they're usually clean for the most
They
part.
work hard
But
to
somebody's
yeah.
got to
Yeah.
do that work. So it's good that the young people can get involved in that. Is there anything else that you would like to share about Heart of West Michigan United Way, Mary Beth?
We just have so much going on that I would really encourage people to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram to really keep up what's going on. We have our Food from the Heart event coming up in June, where we have about 700 volunteers going to the Van Andel Arena to help assemble meals. Great family event or group event. You can bring your company. Day of Carings in September. We have collection drives throughout the year. So really just keep up with what we have going on, because we always have something.
And it's exciting too. It's fun. So
Yeah.
every month is a little bit different. So yeah, so we're impacting, together, as a community, we're able to change the lives of thousands of individuals.
Okay, and so give us those websites and phone numbers again.
Yeah. It's hwmuw.org. I know that's a lot of initials, so just Google Heart of West Michigan United Way, and you can go to our website. And for help, just call 211.
Okay. And Phil, anything else you would like to share?
Yeah, definitely follow us on social media, check out our website, and then check out the volunteer opportunities. There's hundreds of agencies that provide thousands of opportunities, and there's a volunteer opportunity for everyone based on your schedule or availability. If you don't think you have enough time to volunteer, you definitely do. So you've got 30 minutes that you can find an opportunity to do for
Okay,
sure. So
thank you.
Yeah.
Well, Mary Beth, thank you so much
Thank
for
you.
being on Time to Talk. And Phil,
Thank you.
Thank you for being on Time to Talk, and hope you come back again sometime.
Thank you for having
maybe
us.
in the fall and
Yeah.
update us on
We'd love
what's
to.
going on. And thank you so much for watching. I'm Argie Holliman, and you've been watching Time to Talk.